The legislature made quick work of Governor Eddie Calvo's fiscal year 2012 budget and the $343 million bond buying proposal on Friday evening, shooting it down with 6 yes votes and 7 no votes. Senators voted straight down party lines. After voting down the governor's bill, they went back into session and attempted to override his veto of the Democrat-endorsed budget bill along with its $180 million bond buying provision. However, with 2 Democrats off island, the majority failed to override the governor's veto. Right now, neither side has enough votes to pass their bill, leaving the fiscal year 2012 budget in limbo while they remain deadlocked. The fiscal year ends on September 30th, and if they remain in a stalemate, the AG has warned that there will be a government shutdown. Senator Roy Respicio requested the AG opinion after he announced that the Democrat legislative leadership believed that because they had already passed a budget, their Organic Act does not provide for carryover appropriations into the next year if they're stuck in a situation where they don't have enough votes to override the governor's veto and the governor lacks the votes to pass a bill that he wants. The AG said in a letter to Respicio, quote, "Most of the government of Guam, other than certain autonomous government agencies or public corporations, and the Department of Education will soon, if not immediately thereafter, be confronted with a shutdown of their operations and services." Meanwhile, the governor has warned that an override of his veto would put 2,000 government employees out of work in fiscal year 2012 and would continue withholding tax refunds from the people. The governor has also received a growing list of supporters for his bond borrowing measure, with the Mayor's Council of Guam, the Chamber of Commerce, the Chinese Chamber of Commerce, and the Guam Realtors Association all endorsing his plan to pay out tax refunds. But Democrats are concerned about the amount of money the governor wants to borrow in the bond market during these unsure financial times. The U.S. Congress has a committee, dubbed the Committee of 12, that is currently working on trimming trillions from the U.S. budget over the next 10 years. These cuts could affect the Guam military buildup and could also affect other federally funded programs in the territory. Vice Speaker B.J. Cruz has asked the governor to wait until January to borrow money for tax refunds, as by then leaders should know what the scope of the federal cuts will be. Democrats are also concerned that borrowing this much money would mean raising the debt ceiling. Budget Chairman Senator Ben Pangilinan has said that they would have to raise the debt ceiling to its max capacity, leaving no room to borrow any more money in case of an emergency. On Friday, Senator Pangilinan made a motion to reconsider their veto override effort, which means Democrats will have one more chance to try and override the governor's veto of their bill on Tuesday. Senators Tom Atta and Dennis Rodriguez Jr. were both off island during Friday's vote, but we'll be back when session resumes tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Democrats need 10 votes to override the governor's veto, which means they need all of their fellow Democrats to vote together and will need to pull at least one Republican over to their side. However, not all of the Democrats voted in favor of the bill in the first place. Democrat Senator Dennis Rodriguez Jr. voted with Republicans against the Democrats' budget bill. So far, the Republican minority have stuck together in support of the governor. If Democrats can't override the veto, there are rumors of a compromise measure that would allow the governor to borrow an amount in between the $180 million figure and the $343 million figure. Senator Respicio has said that there were once talks of a $260 million bond borrowing measure prior to the passage of the $180 million measure. In the face of a deadlock, it is possible that talks of a $260 million measure or something similar could resume.